for any shout outs. So if you have a shout out, we're now recording. Feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and call out the person you want to give some credit to.
I don't know if Michelle's on, but she has been killing our challenge group. We actually switched to trying the challenge tracker this month for our group, and she's been doing a deep dive, kind of researching a lot of how to do that. And we had some troubleshooting with getting posts scheduled, and she has just been killing it and jumping on board with that. So it's been really helpful.
I would love to hear what you guys think about that after.
Yeah, absolutely. Already we're loving it. We don't have as many challengers in it, but it's more like the people who are actually serious doing it versus having a lot of people on our Facebook groups who never engaged with us.
Just get thrown in.
I actually want to shout you out tonight, Lyndsay Withey, for doing the call, because I suck at Instagram. I do not know anything about it. For some reason, I'm so comfortable in Facebook. And I've kind of been resistant to switching to Instagram. So I just wanted to thank you for doing the call tonight.
I'm excited for this call. Lots of good info. Let's shout out Blair for being on here. Mama. You look good, Mama.
I want to shout real quick. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Blair.
Oh, you look beautiful.
Yeah. Your mom gets all the passes. You're gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. You're glowing.
Andrea is not on, but if she watches recording, she reached out to me on Friday, I think. We both kind of have a tendency to crawl along as far as the business goes. And we've been running a challenge group together for several months now. And she asked if I wanted to be success partners so that we can motivate each other. So I know that's scary to reach out to somebody to do that. So we're both scared, but she took that first step and did it.
You guys are
good for her.
That's awesome. Alrighty, I'm going to change it to speaker view, and I'm going to let Lyndsay take the floor because she's got lots of good stuff to teach us tonight. So take it away, Lynds.
All right, I'm pretty excited about this. So a little while ago, there we go. Okay, so a little while ago, I got involved with a book launch. Actually, Rachel Hollis's Girl Stop Apologizing book launch. And one of the people who are running it is Anna LeBaron, who she is the author of the Polygamous Daughter, which is a fantastic book. But one of her main jobs is to kind of teach people how to get their best engagement. And I'm having a sorry, my screen is being funny. There we go. Okay. And so she gave out a handbook about increasing your influence status and increasing your engagement on Instagram and Facebook. And so I started doing that, and I've actually seen a great thing. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen here. See if this works. All right, can everyone see that? All right, fantastic. All right. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you're looking at this is Instagram uses algorithms just like Facebook uses algorithms, and it depends on what your influencer ratio is as to whether or not you're going to be put into other people's feeds. So what you're wanting to do, I'm going to try to move. All right, and there we go. You're going to basically not become a mass follower where you are following more people than are following you. So you're going to want to look at your Instagram page, sorry, I'm all over the board right now. Your profile, and you're going to want to look at how many followers you have versus how many you're following. And so this is the ratio level, the influencer levels that Iconosquare, which is who runs the algorithms for Instagram and Facebook, uses. And so you want to look to see what is your current ratio. So for me, when I first started this, my current ratio was a 2.57. And so that put me right smack into the popular level. Now, for us that I have found, we probably will never get all the way up to that influencer 40 plus level. You might get to it. That's basically for every one person you're following, 40 people are following you. So I have noticed for a lot, if you're at least in the popular or rising star category, then you're doing really good. If you're in the mass follower status, then you're probably not going to be seen by anyone. So you're going to want to work on that. So how do you figure that out? So here, I just took a screenshot of my page. I had 1,085 followers when I did this, and I was following 465. And so my current pop ratio is 2.33. I've started following some more people because I just did a follow loop earlier. So my ratio is a little bit lower, but I'm still at least in that regular to popular influence level. So how do you change that without losing followers? Because that's our number one concern. We don't want to unfollow people who are following us. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you can click on your profile and where you're following, and it will give you a list of every person you're following, and you can go through them. And if they have like a blue check mark next to their name, like Rachel Hollis, she is a verified account, so she has a small blue circle next to her name. Those are the ones you're going to want to unfollow first, as long as they are not following you. And so this is a little time consuming. It is a little tedious. So what you do, you go to their page, like you go from your following, you go to their page and you click on their followers. So who are they following? And then you search your name in their little search bar. And if it pulls up your profile, then you don't unfollow them. But if you don't, you unfollow them. Now that doesn't mean you can't go back in and check with them if you want to see things that they're posting, but it will help you be seen in other areas. So then after you go through the verified accounts, look to see for like business accounts, unverified accounts. Like I have one account on here that is called Tyndale House, which is a publishing house that publishes some of my favorite authors' books. And so I was following them for a short time, but I am going to be unfollowing them because I'm not a part. I don't need them on there if I want to increase my ratio. So you're still going through. So at this point, you're still able to have the exact same number of people who are following you. You've not lost anyone who engages with you, but your influence ratio has gone up. I noticed when I started the very first time, my influence ratio was like a low 2. And by the time I went through all the steps, I got it up to a mid 4 level. And that increased my number of followers dramatically. I was adding 3 or 4 new people a day and without really doing much. I wasn't really adding a lot of new content. It was just kind of automatic. So even if you can make a small improvement, you will see huge results from it. Now, so here's the way you can, like, you're checking your influence status after you've gone through those 2 accounts. If you are a mass follower right now, so say you have you're following 1,000 people, but only 500 people are following you, you are going to want to do this very slowly. You are not going to want to do a mass exodus of followers, because that can actually cause Instagram to think you're a spam bot and freeze your account. I did one day, I did just the business and the random accounts. And then the next week, I took a week to get rid of actual accounts. And so that was a very slow process, but it did pay out good rewards. So the different types of people you want to get rid of as you're going through this are names and handles you don't recognize. So people that you're following, but you've never engaged with them. You've never had a conversation with them. You don't really know how you started following them. You're going to want to unfollow them if they're not following you. Again, you're going to want to check to make sure, because you don't, at this stage, you don't want to get rid of accounts who are following you. If you run across accounts that are not your target audience, like personally, I don't really follow a lot of the top coaches. I follow our team members, but I really don't follow people who I don't personally know in our business, because they're obviously not going to sign up with me if they're already signed up. So why would I follow them? And then the mass followers, again, those are the people who they're just collecting. They're going to follow everyone. They're not able to engage. And the reason why mass followers are so difficult to work with is because it's almost impossible for you to engage with that number of people in a 3-day span. And that's kind of what your target is you want to be able to go through your entire Instagram feed of all the people you're following. So you get the little message that says you're all caught up. You've seen all the new posts at least once every 3 days. If you've never gotten that message, at least once every week to start with. And then fake accounts. We all know these fake accounts. They're the like Daniel Johnson 123 whatever, or the ones who send you a random message, hey beautiful, or you can tell what the fake accounts are. And instead of just unfollowing those accounts, you actually kind of want to block them, because that tells Instagram, hey, this is not a real account, and it kind of keeps them down, and it helps other people out, and it helps with engagement. As far as you will get new followers, do not follow them back right away. I wait a minimum of a week to see if I'm going to engage with a new follower before adding them, because I don't want to play that follow unfollow game. I'm not here for that. That drives me nuts. So that's how you get your influencer status. Before I move on, or influencer ratio, before I move on to engagement, does anyone have any questions? I can't really see the chat box. Maybe I can see the chat. No, I can't. Any questions there before I move on to the engagement? No, okay. So engagement. So basically with engagement, this is, do you interact with people, and do people interact with you? So look at your top 5 most current posts and stories. You want to get what your engagement rate is for your stories, what your engagement rate is for your posts. So for most Instagram accounts, that engagement is less than 1%. I've gotten a post that had as high as 20% engagement, which was fantastic. I was really surprised. This works just the same as on Facebook. And so yesterday when I posted that picture, it wasn't of my new haircut. It wasn't a long, detailed post. It was just saying, hey, a fresh haircut can do wonders for someone. I had well over 100 people like and over 60 comments. My engagement ratio on that was through the roof, and it was a very simple post. It wasn't anything too intense. So the way you figure that out is you add in all your likes for that post, you add in all the comments for that post, and you divide by the number of followers you have. So for example, my most recent Instagram post I had on here had engagement of 33, and I have 1085. So I had a 3% engagement on that one post. So it might not seem like 28 might not seem like a lot of likes, or it might not, you might not have a lot of likes, but when you look at the ratio of it versus your followers, you'll see, hey, more people are actually engaging with me. And that way you can also see what types of posts are getting more people's attention. Are your videos getting more attention? Or your workout videos? What meal prep? What types of things do people who are following you want to see and engage with you on? And then on here, I just did a quick screen grab. So this is how to increase your engagement. And she basically recommended for every 5 new followers, you're going to remove or block one person after you have gotten your influencer ratio where you want. While you're doing that, you're going to be removing more people so that you can get your influence ratio. But once you're set on how many followers you have and you want your engagement to go up, you do this. So why are people who never engage with us bad? Well, that's because it takes our engagement down. So if you have 50 followers who never comment or anything, Instagram's going to look at that and say, oh, people really don't care what they're posting. Why should I share it with other people? So by doing that, so you want to block and report fake accounts because they're just not, they don't need to be there. They're fake accounts. They're not real people. You can tell if they're fake accounts. Their handles, usually a name, like I have the example there. They portray themselves in the military or as a doctor or another prestigious profession. They're mass followers. They don't engage, or if they do, they send you a direct message. I'll get a couple that'll just put like an emoji on a comment. You can tell it's a complete bot who's doing that. You want to get rid of those. Now, as far as removing accounts, these are legitimate accounts, but they just don't engage with you. So to remove a legitimate account who may actually been following you, but you're not engaging with them, they have to hit all 3 rules. They have to not be in your target audience. They have to be a mass follower, and they've got to be not engaged with you. And so the way you do that is I took a little screenshot. When you look, now I have an Android phone, so I don't know if it looks different on iOS. But if you look on your followers, you will see the 3 dots next to it. And when you click on that 3 dot, it will remove them from being able to follow you. And so at this point, you will be losing followers because you're cleaning up who's following you, but your engagement is going to increase. So I am going to, that's all I've got on the slides real quick, but I'm going to stop share maybe. Stop share. Now, one thing that I have discovered that has worked for me is we all learned about the 5-3-1 method of adding new people, and it was really popular. They talked about it at Summit last year. And I found after doing this, I still kind of follow that, where I will do 5 likes on a person's profile. I'll comment on 3, but I will not follow them until we've engaged back and forth a few times, so that I know I'm creating it. This is somebody I want to talk to. This is somebody I want to get involved with. Another thing that I would recommend as far as engagement goes, make sure when you comment on a post for engagement, you are using a minimum of 4 words. So I love this post is considered an engagement, but great post is not considered an engagement. How much time, Lyndsay, I just saw your chat. Hold on to me. I spend probably about a good hour a week on Instagram to clean up and to work on this. And then I try to spend maybe 10, 15 minutes a day for just new posts. The last couple weeks have been really bad, but I've been increasing my stories and trying to do that. Lyndsay Kennedy, I got all this information from Anna LeBaron, who ran a book launch team that I was a part of. And she did a training on this as we were preparing for becoming influencers for the book launch, so that our posts for a new book would get going. But it works for many different things. But engagement, as far story engagement, is huge. I try to engage with every story I see, even if it's just voting on a poll, or it's like they have the quick responses when you're watching it where you can like it or smile or cry, anything like that, because that shows Instagram you are engaging, you are an active participant on Instagram. As far as that goes, I think that's pretty much everything I had, unless anyone has any questions. All that. No, I am not adding people who are following my stories. Yes, our engagement does impact the engagement we receive significantly. That is one thing I am doing. I search hashtags and I follow the hashtags. So if you follow hashtags, you'll get like 3 or 5 posts from that hashtag in your feed every week. And so you can engage on those hashtags, but it doesn't go against your influencer or your engagement ratio. It shows that you're engaging with more and more people, and then people will start following you, but it doesn't impact the algorithm for what Instagram's going to see you're doing. As far as people who are following my stories, I don't really see non-followers watching my stories. So I have noticed if I use a hashtag in my story, it might get added to the hashtag story mode. So if I do girl mom or autism mom, the autism mom hashtag might run my story, but you can't engage with people when you just follow a hashtag story unless you go directly to their page. So I don't see a lot of people who do that, but, yeah. Okay, so, influencer ratio. Oh, sure, not a problem. And I have a document I will put in the team page so that has all this. So your influencer ratio is the number of followers divided by the number of following. And then your engagement ratio is, so I'm going to also type it out. Followers divided by following equals influencer, and likes plus comments divided by followers equals engagement ratio. And that's going to be a percentage, so you have to times it by 100 to get your percent. But I can totally post the document. It's a PDF. It's about 10 pages. I think I might have posted it when I did a live video, but I'll make sure it's at least, it works the same on Facebook. Facebook is a little bit different as far as if you're not public, you're not going to have random people looking at your page. So pretty much everyone on there is your followers, but you can do the engagement ratio the same way. So like my hair post, when I posted that I got a new haircut, my engagement shot through the roof on that. And I really was not expecting it. But then if I posted something about meal prep, I got like no engagement on Facebook. So it kind of just shows you how and what the best posts are for your people. So if you have any other questions, anyone else has any other questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, that's all I got.
Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Not a problem.
That formula makes a lot of sense. I've got a lot of people that I need to block. Like I hadn't thought about how robots or whatever following me could negatively impact me.
Yeah.
So I need to do
I
that.
will say, like, so you start with doing your influencer ratio and you work on getting that to where you want it to be. So I was looking at some of our team's pages and I noticed a few of us are mass followers, where we basically follow everyone that follows. I wasn't calling anyone out, Lyndsay. But that if you are a mass follower, it's going to be a very slow process. I know at one point there was some trainings from like the upper coaches that were saying, oh, use the unfollow app and just randomly unfollow 50 people a day. And Anna goes, yeah, that's great if you want Instagram to really not show you anywhere. So go very slow. It took me, the very first time I did this, I had a mess on my page. And so it probably took me an entire football game. I think I did during the Super Bowl when I was working on it, and to go through and say, okay, now I do keep on my non-negotiable list. I have a spreadsheet, pen and paper, non-negotiables. I write down the names under, hold on one second. Come here, Sarai. Okay, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Oh, it didn't break, baby. It just came unplugged. I'll fix it.
Oh.
All right. I'm on the call. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay? Go on. You want to say hi? Okay, you can say hi real quick.
Hi, everyone.
All right, go away. Go. I'll fix your necklace. I had to go through a huge list and ordeal to just get my influencer where I wanted it to. And then once I started doing the engagement and wondering, okay, who's engaging with me, who's not engaging me, I did start losing some followers because I was removing them. And so that impacted my engagement, my influencer ratio, but not nearly as much as being a mass follower influenced it. So it does take time. It is a process, but like the last week I've barely been on Instagram because I've just been dealing with so much crap of my own. And I still added like 10 new people this week. And one other thing I didn't get to talk much about is follow loops. So you will see like moms follow mom loops on Instagram and stuff like that. And some of those are okay, but what I actually prefer are engagement loops, where you don't have to follow the people, but they'll be like, hey, everyone comment on here, and you go and you just write a post or a comment on everyone's post who's on that engagement thread, at least 4 words. So that increases your engagement, but you're not messing up your influencer. And so that has helped a lot.
Football.
Did I miss a question? Yeah. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. I also just wanted to do another quick shout out because I just remembered it with Heather on our team. She messaged me earlier last week that she had somebody who had the same surgery I had and had questions. And she actually came to me and said, hey, can you help answer some of these questions? And so I just wanted to shout her out for reaching out and saying, I don't have the answers, but I will get them for you. And again, for some of our new coaches, if you don't know, I did have gastric bypass surgery. So if you ever run into potential customers who have questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I literally will share my story with everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a huge testament to her as a coach, like making sure she finds the answers, and then to you as a teammate, knowing she can come to you and just making sure she's being knowledgeable and not just trying to make that sale. It was really
Exactly. Yeah. And it was. And I mean, I had a fantastic conversation with the lady and was able to answer some questions for her. And I will do that. I will do that with any of your potential customers, or if anyone has any questions about how it works. So I'm almost 3 years out from my surgery. So
awesome. Thank you so much for this information, Lyndsay.
absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.